What up, everybody? It's Zoot again, back here with another update for your favorite Kickstarter game that's kind of in development limbo, ReLegend. Although the updates for this game, in terms of actual content that we can kind of talk about and speculate on, are pretty far and few between. That's exactly how you say that saying. There was a pretty hefty content update posted a couple of months ago. It's the monthly update number 9, ReLegend development update, backers alpha and release date update, and the May Pick a Magnus. Yay, Pick a Magnus, the most exciting updates of all. Anyways, though, this one is pretty hefty, and so I'm just going to run through the things that they have explained and kind of give my opinions on what they have shared with us. So the first thing that they decided to lead off with this update is pretty boring. I'm not sure if I would have started here, but it is the character customization screen. It looks relatively bare bones, but again, it is very early. Not the most thrilling of updates, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. So they did provide us with a lot of cool screenshots about different aspects of the game. However, there's not very much accompanying text with them, so it's not like they're going super in depth with each of the systems. As you can see here, here's a little bit of your normal day-to-day combat. So I don't know, not too thrilling there either, but something here is pretty cool. So right here on the screen, as you can see, this is a little bit of an introduction to the Taming minigame, but it looks like there's going to be a meter of some sort, and what I'm assuming based on the little layout that we're given in this picture is that you're going to have to keep your character logo. As you can see, there's the little head there. You're going to try to keep that as close to the center as possible, and you can see the arrow is pointing downwards, indicating that you need to move your stick down to not presumably fall off the Magnus that you're trying to tame. Again, this could change in the future, but it looks pretty cool. I'm not sure if they're going to do anything with different types of Magnus. So let's say, for example, you're taming something in the water. Is it going to be the same mini game as taming something on land? If you're going to be taming a flying one, will that have any changes? That would be something that's pretty cool, but again, this doesn't give us too much information into that. Here we just have some more pictures of someone whacking some stuff with a stick. Yay, farming. Again, not too in-depth, but I mean, it is coming along relatively nicely. It looks like there's a lot of junk in your garden to start with that you're presumably going to have to clear out before you can plant things. And then, hey, we have a little bit of a look at the fishing minigame. Fishing, we have a surprise for you when the game is released. Don't tease me like that, ReLegend. But again, we get a little bit of a look into this little minigame that you're going to be playing probably frequently throughout this game. It shows a fish with what looks like to be a health bar and an arrow accompanying it. So I'm guessing you're going to have to move your control stick left and right to keep the fish on your line. It's a little bit more in-depth than games like, say, Animal Crossing, or games like even Rune Factory 4, which is simply wait until the fish hits your bobber and then freaks out, and then you press the A button. So that's not too interesting. So at least there's a little bit more in depth here. But again, it's not necessarily looking like it's anything like Stardew Valley's system, which I really enjoy. But again, you can't say too much about a screenshot, so I have high hopes for the fishing minigame. Doing some massive damage to this rock.
That's a lot of damage!
A giant glowing berry. No, skipping that. Who cares? Who cares? The next relatively substantial update that they provided us gave us a little bit of insight into how the Magnus are going to be helping us in this game. They started off with guess the Magnus. How are we expected to guess the Like, what? Like, we don't know. This has never been shown before. How could we guess it? Oh, but don't worry, they show it right here. It's Cranite. Yay. So it's just a rock looking dude. And yeah, so this is a little crab guy that you can ride around, and they go pretty in depth with what he's going to be able to do, and they also give some nuggets of information that we can glean and kind of apply to other Magnuses. So this is a pretty good update. So as you can see, this Magnus is able to evolve into 2 different species, the Kralatius and the Cranicle. I think I got the second one right. And anyways, what they go into later in the update is these 2 different evolutions actually have different abilities, which is really cool. So as you can see by these 2 different gifs, one of them is attacking in a different way than the other evolution. And that is actually really interesting, because I kind of just expected, like, okay, one of these Magnus evolutions will make it more powerful, and it would just be like a purely cosmetic and statistical increase in different powers and different stats. But it looks like they might actually have different move sets based on the evolutions that you take, which again makes this game so ambitious. It's insane. Like, all the different Magnuses that they're going to have in this game. Is it Magnuses or Magni? I need to get with someone to check that out. But with all the different species of creatures in this game, they're going to have to make animation sets for each one of these. They're going to have to make different stats for each of these. They're going to have to make different abilities for all of them. And it goes even farther than just combat. So as you can see, these are different combat styles. You can actually switch him into another mode called burrow. So he's going to, I don't know, belly flop onto the ground. Or this one is a little bit more elegant than that one. But you can switch the modes that these creatures are in, and then they have even more different abilities. So they switch from a melee focused kind of tank thing, which again has pretty slow movement from what they're saying, into a range tank. So when you're riding this thing around, you can hit things from long range. It really gives a lot of variety to how you are going to be able to introduce yourself into combat situations, which is really cool. And again, this is just one of very many evolutions, and I expect all the others will have something of this type as well. So that's really, really cool. And that gives, again, makes you kind of understand and appreciate how much time this game is probably taking to develop. So again, just relax. Other than just combat differences as well, they're also going to have different support abilities. So I think this is the base evolution. He's only watering a measly 3 crops. Get out of here with that weak shit. Once you upgrade him, though, he can water 6 instead of the measly 3. Or if you upgrade him to Kralitus, whatever. If you upgrade him to the other red guy, he can actually dig for you. So again, this is going to play into how you utilize your different creatures to help you on your farm, maxing your efficiency, getting the most crops. It's really, really interesting to see these different variations on the same creature, because again, that just adds a whole lot of variety to the game and allows you to play the way that you're going to want to play. So I think that's a pretty hefty update right there. Again, it just gives us a little bit more insight into the differences between the evolutions, which I think is really cool. And then we get to the part that I kind of knew was coming, but you never like to see. They are kind of talking a little bit about the alpha release date, which everybody is very excited about. Next, we'll talk about the backers update. Due to the huge amount of features that this game contains, things are taking a little longer than we would like to polish them up. Okay, this is a Kickstarter game. Again, there's not much we can do. I mean, there's nothing we can do to speed up the development. But in terms of Kickstarters in general, a lot of these things have very high hopes for when they think they're going to release the things that they're going to release. And I'd say 80% of the time, targets for when things are going to be released or shipped are usually pushed back, if not so significantly, at least a little bit. So again, they were planning on releasing the beta like early 2018, which was completely unreasonable. Like, there was absolutely no chance that they could put out a product that people would enjoy in that amount of time. Like, give them, what, 6 months, 4 months? Like, there's no way that they could put the amount of things that would be required for a successful beta in that amount of time. Obviously, we're a year later now, and they're still kind of pushing it back a little bit. But again, that's to be expected. It's a Kickstarter game. This is a small team. They've never done something as ambitious as this. So again, you get a little bit of excitement. You want to get people excited about the beta. So you say it's as early as possible, and then you kind of push it back. So I was reading a lot of the comments in the comment thread on the Kickstarter, and people are getting really disheartened about this, and they're getting really upset about this. But again, this is kind of normal for Kickstarter projects. I wouldn't worry about it. The beta is going to come. Just, I don't know, play other games until then. It's not that big of a deal. Wouldn't you rather have a beta that was pretty polished and something that you could actually play and showcase, rather than something that's janky and there's garbage UIs and no music? Like, no one's going to want to play that. Let's relax a little bit. Let the developers develop. This game is probably going to be great, so let's just chill. But yeah, that's pretty much all the information we've gotten. We've gotten a lot of other pick-a-Magnuses, which aren't too exciting. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Tell me if you're excited. Tell me if you're getting frustrated by how long it's taking. I want to hear what you guys think about these updates. And if you guys saw any things that I missed and would like me to touch on next time, definitely leave them down in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button if you want to keep up to date with this game. I will make more updates as they roll in. But again, it's going very slowly. So, I'll see you next time.